hey, CashKaro has 25 million members already. Why don't we actually market credit cards to them? Brands have moved their budget from Google and Meta to CashKaro because they've realized that Google is just becoming so expensive. Last year, EarnKaro sent 2.3 billion clicks to our partners via the traffic that we're sending from the deals that influencers are sharing. There's a guy, Nikhil, who's in Aligarh. He has just built a home for himself with his EarnKaro earnings.
So I really think I'm doing something wrong in that.
I also think so. Actually, our team is always thinking, whoever I used to meet, I used to think, money is so irrelevant. Like, everyone around me is actually richer.
Hi, I'm Aabha Bakaya. I'm the founder of Ladies Who Lead, and today on the show, I have with me Swati, the founder of CashKaro and EarnKaro. She is a killer entrepreneur. She's been backed by a whole host of investors right out of college, including Ratan Tata, including Vani Kola and Kalari. But the biggest thing here is don't get fooled by her sweet demeanor. She is not some sweet girl from Punjab. She is actually a boss babe extraordinaire. Tune in to find out all that she's been up to. Swati, I'm really looking forward to this because I get to sit down with my friend.
Likewise.
And ask her questions about her work. So
yes,
let me kick off with, Swati, what is CashKaro?
Yes. Well, my favorite question to answer always. Well,
You would think I would know this by now after like 15 odd years, but I still don't know how to explain it to other people.
Yeah. Well, CashKaro is a cashback app. So very simply, अगर आप online shopping कर रहे हैं, you go to CashKaro first, and then from CashKaro you go to any site, whether it's Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart, and you get extra cashback from us on your purchase.
So why don't more of us use it?
Yeah, because I think most people forget about it, when you're shopping online, rather than going directly to other site. In fact, our campaign this Diwali is going to be Aadat Badlo. Direct shopping ki aadat badlo, pehle cash karo, fir shop karo.
Okay, got it.
Because just for going via CashKaro, you get 5%, 10%, 50%, up to 80%, because it varies brand to brand. You get that much extra cash back, which you can actually transfer to your bank or take it as a gift voucher. So you're going to get real money back. So it's a way to save money on your online shopping.
Well, clearly there are enough smart people who already know this exists and use it.
Well, let me tell you that on a brand like Lancome, you can get 50% cash back. Now you won't forget.
I will not forget. I did not know this.
Yeah.
I did not know this. Everyone ends up trying to get discounts through their cards and things. And this is something that I think not enough people, at least in perhaps in a certain TG and in your SCCA or something, have explored perhaps.
Yeah. And if you see brands like Kama, for Essentials, you get 20% cash back. I mean, you walk into a For Essentials store, you won't get any discount. But if you go to CashKaro, from there you go to For Essentials website and shop just as normal, you will get 20% cash back. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. And what's the catch? Is there a catch? Is it that it runs out of stock, or it's like a one-day offer, or is there a catch?
There's no catch. CashKaro is a part of your everyday online shopping life. And why it works, why there's no catch, is because we're not funding this cashback from our side.
Okay.
So CashKaro, we're actually the #1 affiliate for all e-commerce sites today. I wouldn't say all, but most.
Sure.
And that includes, the larger horizontals like Amazon, Flipkart. That includes the larger D2C brands like Mamaearth, Wow, Caffeine, and the upcoming brands also like a Yuga Life or, Booking.com, ClearTrip. We work with across category brands, and we are their largest sales generator on a performance basis, right?
Fantastic.
So why people like Amazon or other brands work with us is because we only charge them if we deliver a sale.
Okay.
So they pay us a commission for every sale. Us commission mein se we give cash back to our members.
Sure.
It's as simple as that.
Okay. So, I mean, Amazon itself sometimes offers so many discounts.
Yeah, and this is on top of all that.
This is on top of that.
Yeah, because you are going via CashKaro. So CashKaro will get commission. From that, we will give you cash back. So as long as you originate at CashKaro, and then from CashKaro app, you're going to Amazon app or Amazon site and placing your order, you will get that extra cash back from us. Now everyone's thinking, oh my God, I shop on Amazon so much, Nykaa, Myntra, Ajio, every site. I mean, we have
that is
pretty much all
definitely what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So what are some of the brands that you partner? You mentioned a whole host of, luxury brands, but are these newer brands that you've done in the last couple of years? Has there been an evolution in the kind of brands that you host on your or partner with on your site? What are the next steps or what's exciting? Because like you said, Diwali's around the corner. Or just a couple of months away. So what's the plan this year?
So well, Amazon, Flipkart, horizontals we've been working with for a while. For the last 2 years, a lot of growth has come for us from D2C brands, right? So, and not only like, the likes of Mamaearth and Wow, which are larger, but a lot of the emerging brands like World of Asaya, Pattern, Foxtail is not emerging anymore, but still Dot and Key, Hyphen, we work with all of them. And that category has boomed a lot. D2C in electronics has boomed a lot. So everyone from a boat, noise, to Samsung, Dell, Apple, we work with all of them. This year actually, like right now, if I look at the month of July, look at the revenues, 22% of our revenues have actually come from finance. So we're now partnering with banks, Axis Bank, SBI, HDFC, pretty much every bank out there saying, hey, CashKaro has 25 million members already. Why don't we actually market credit cards to them? And, the sales and leads that we're sending for credit cards via us, we get paid for each card that we, sell. And users get cashback on that as well. So if you apply for, say, a Flipkart Access card, you not only will get 5% cashback every time while you're using the card, because that's what the card offers, but you'll also get 1,000 rupees cashback from us when you get the card, because you've applied for the card via CashKaro. Right? So, when we were in London, Rohan and I, we lived there for almost 10, 11 years, including our studies, because we both were at London School of Economics. Then I worked at Goldman Sachs in London for 5 years, left, a very aggressive alpha, working environment, thinking that starting my business might be easier, which was wrong. But, at that time, the thinking was that let's do CashKaro because the product market fit for a cashback product in India would be great. Everyone loves to save money. This is a way for you to, get an extra 25, 30,000 per year. Why won't you do it? So CashKaro made all the sense. What we realized over the last few years is that actually we're solving a much larger problem, which is that of user acquisition. Because today, if you look at e-commerce companies, why are they not profitable? Because the CACs are very high. People are acquiring customers at 1,500, 2,000 rupees a customer. So it takes you a while to break even. There's so much competition. They get drawn onto other brands as well. So the LTVs of customers are not that high. Therefore, you need to find a way to bring down your CACs. And that's where CashKaro and affiliate marketing, performance marketing come in. And that's the category we have set up in India. Saying that, hey, if you look at e-commerce, your payments, logistics are solved problems, but customer acquisition is not. So if you work with a partner like us, we will charge you per sale that we drive, and therefore it's most economical for you, most ROI effective for you, because you're only paying if you're getting a transaction.
So this is actually a really sweet spot in the market that you've
Yes. And that's what we've discovered over the last 2-3 years. Brands have moved their budget from Google and Meta to CashKaro because they've realized that Google is just becoming so expensive. It's not actually working for anyone. You want to be there because it's Google and it's got a lot of search volume, so you want to show up in the searches, but the economics are not adding up. So most CMOs and most marketers are taking a step back and saying, how do I redistribute my marketing budget that while I have for Google and Meta, I also want to create space for affiliate marketing, because this is the channel that will actually, even if I want to cut my budget today, I can still spend on affiliate because I will only pay if I get a sale. It's not a TV campaign, it's not branding, ATL, VTL. You don't have to spend until you get a sale.
Okay, this is brilliant.
So now we're good. CashKaro.
We're absolutely good.
I want to add EarnKaro to it at some point.
I was coming to that. But before that, tell me, who is your TG, or how would you divide your TG when you're hitting, hitting different targets, and how has that evolved, let's say, in the last few years?
When we started off, I think e-commerce, we were looking at people who are already online shoppers, which is true even today, that you are looking for the savvy audience, right? So we started off as tier 1, 18 to 30 years as TG. Now, over the last few years, what we've seen is actually our traffic is coming 50% from tier 1 and 50% from tier 2 to tier 4. Plus, the age group has really increased, because earlier we used to think that, CashKaro is for the evolved online shopper. Evolved online shoppers were typically the younger lot. But today, our sweet spot is actually 18 to 36. I remind my team that I'm 41. Do not think that 41 is not shopping.
This is why.
Exactly. So I'm telling them constantly that all your karmas and forest senses and Lancoms are coming from, people like us. So please don't leave us out. And therefore, I have increased that TG from 18 to 50 because I think that's what it should be. But I heard
everyone's online today. I think that cultural shift has happened.
Yeah. But I hear the team, and therefore, officially, I would say 18 to 35. And the corporate professional audience is very, active right now because this is a group that's shopping online a lot.
Okay.
We're 60% male and 40% female. So this has evolved from an 80-20 ratio also, by the way.
Interesting.
Because in the past, women never had credit cards on their own name. They were either doing COD or telling their husbands and brothers and other males in the family to place the order because that's where, the spending power or the mode of payment lied.
Yeah.
And I think now with, more women working, more women having their own cards, we see that percentage also going up.
Okay. So did you say you have a database of 25 million?
That's right.
25 million.
25 million.
That's insane. I'm just going to take a minute to digest that.
Yeah.
So you have the reach and you clearly have, a certain, identified portion of the market. It's quite wide. I mean, it's,
yes.
So I think for any brand or product, clearly there's going to be scope and there's going to be volume and traffic there.
Yeah.
What is EarnKaro all about?
So EarnKaro is like the, the new jewel in our crown, if I can say so.
Lovely.
EarnKaro just turned 5 this year. And it was started just before COVID. And I think COVID, during COVID, it actually took off quite a bit. And why we came up with it was because 5 years ago, we were looking at the social commerce market in India and saying that it should have done better in India. Why is it not bigger? And what we realized was because the traditional social commerce was operating with products which were all, handcrafted or from resellers. And sometimes people were not happy with the quality.
Sure.
So we said, look, there's definitely power in referral marketing. There's definitely power in recommendations. Yeah. If I want to buy something, I trust my friend on what she says more. I trust the smaller influencers I follow more versus those that I know always have a hashtag sponsored there.
Yes.
Right. So that's the emergence of nano influencers and micro influencers. So EarnKaro is an affiliate marketing app. It's the largest of its kind in India. It was also the first that allows influencers and anyone, including me and you, to actually make an affiliate link for ourselves for any product on the internet.
That's lovely.
Share it in our groups. And if anyone buys via our link, we earn commission.
Fantastic. I think that is
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
yeah.
a great
So
way
if
to
let's
go.
say, I was posting this on my Instagram and somebody said, hey, where's your lipstick from?
Sure.
So I'll be like, this is the Estee Lauder Extra Versace collection, which is on Nykaa. I'm going to put a link here. Go shop. So now when people click on it, they will actually go to Nykaa and buy. Their experience is the same. But me as the influencer, because I've put my EarnKaro link, I will get 7% commission.
So they'll get a commission and then you also get a commission on your platform.
Yeah, no. So because I am the influencer, I am getting 7% commission. Yeah, the consumer is only buying the product from there.
Okay.
If there's a sale going on, they can benefit from that.
Okay, so you're directly linking the influencer to the...
Yeah, so what it's allowing you to do is that me as an influencer, I don't need to tie up with individual brands to become their affiliates.
Sure.
I can just go to EarnKaro and I can make my own affiliate link for Nykaa, for Amazon, for Myntra, for my
and as your...
and share it.
No, I got it. And for your platform, how does that work? Is it to host all of them?
Yeah, you're right. What you said earlier, that EarnKaro is also getting commission. So if let's say we are getting 10, we are passing 7 or 7.5 to the influencer, and the 2.5 or 3.
But this also gives you further marketing might.
Yes.
In terms of having an army of influencers that you can further target, with certain, deals, offers, or campaigns.
Now here's a stat you will love.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell us.
So last year, EarnKaro sent 2.3 billion clicks to our partners via the traffic that we are sending from the deals that influencers are sharing.
I can't believe
2.3 billion. I'll tell you why it happens. Because this is the magic of Telegram. And this is Telegram is a super underrated, not spoken about marketing channel on which EarnKaro has 75% market share. We reported 300 crores in revenue yesterday, and we know EarnKaro has a big part to play in that.
Firstly, congratulations. Congratulations.
That's
a milestone. I'm just so proud to and privileged to be with you as part of that journey. I think it's just phenomenal, what you all have done here. But you're saying that's the kind of revenue it's generating.
Yeah, no, 300 crores is a mix of cash.
Yeah, I know a part of it.
EarnKaro had 100% growth last year. See, what's happening is Telegram, okay, as a channel, has a lot of Telegram groups.
Yeah.
So the people who are running these groups, they are now saying that, okay, we've given them something called the EarnKaro magic tool. So the magic tool integrates with your Telegram group, and automatically all day on your group, there are deals going out from Amazon, from Flipkart. Now imagine when a sale is going on. The pricing is so good, right? Boat is down from 2,000 to 1,000. JBL is like not 1,500 but 700. So automatically all these deals are going on, being posted on the Telegrammer group with their own affiliate links, which are EarnKaro. And people are clicking and going, buying. Not everyone's buying, but going is happening. So when so many people are clicking and reaching the partner's website through EarnKaro, we can track how much traffic we are sending via EarnKaro to our partners. So the virality that comes on EarnKaro via Telegram is a killer. I mean, we've had times when, brands, D2C brands have got their like a buy 2 get 2 sale, or buy 3 get 3, whatever, going live at midnight. We push it out on EarnKaro. Telegrammers share deals on their groups for that particular brand. So much traffic goes there, their site comes down.
What are you
Like initially, yeah, it's happened. So there's a big conundrum, right? So our team will report at 12 o'clock, this one site down. Yeah, people are saying, wow. And I'm like, guys, if their site is down, we're losing commission. Because how many people shop are sending all this traffic? Don't send so much traffic.
the perennial rock in the hard place.
It's a high for them for sure. That look, we send so much traffic that someone's site came down because they weren't expecting to get so much,
Yeah.
But now partners know that EarnKaro has this capability to send. So now they prepare for it. Now I tell the team the sites should not come down because we want the commissions, but definitely do that. So 2.3 billion last year is the traffic sent by EarnKaro.
That's absolutely amazing. I think just to see that kind of traction, it just shows you the kind of demand and potential out there.
Yeah, and a lot of women, housewives, students are actually using EarnKaro to share deals in their WhatsApp groups. So if you see WhatsApp groups in our society WhatsApp group, there'll be a few people who are experts in this thing. So if I want to ask this girl, then tell me what's the best organic mustard oil to buy from, or what's the best makeup to use, or if you ask a makeup artist the same thing. All of them are basically taking links from Amazon, Myntra, Nykaa, wherever, putting them on EarnKaro, then sharing their affiliate links. So that if anyone's shopping, I get paid for my recommendation. So it's allowing micro and nano influencers to monetize their network. There are people.
Fantastic.
Now, I know you have you're unbelievable 2.3 billion, but I'll give you another stat. There's a guy, Nikhil, who's in Aligarh. He has just built a home for himself with EarnKaro earnings.
So I really think I'm doing something wrong in that.
I also think so. Actually, our team is always thinking, look at this guy. There are people who have built homes, bought bikes, went on an international trip. We also treat them and take them on trips as well. So it's like, if you can nail it, and have that audience that is captive, you have an amazing way to monetize it, and EarnKaro is that way.
This is the new India. This is India sort of moving in a completely different direction because it's giving people an opportunity, to grow and to spend in ways that weren't possible earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And access to all these brands, to a platform like yours.
Yeah.
So it's an
it's
exciting
actually
time.
fulfilling as well. I mean, we've given about 100 crores in cash back via EarnKaro to influencers, right? So 100 crores in the hands of influencers who this real cash. 100 crores.
100 crores is a lot of money.
And it's not only this, CashKaro has given 1,000 crores so far in the last 11 years. So
1,000 crores in the last...
1,000 crores of real cash in people's hands in India. And when you think about it, how much I've got more than 3 lakhs already. So you can definitely be earning a lot of money. Plus the coupons give you instant savings, right? So that is not even counted in the 3 lakhs. If I count that, plus this, then of course, I would have saved double. Yeah.
That's a lot. 3 lakhs must have been in 1 year or not in 10 years?
No, actually 3 lakhs,
But this one guy was smart enough, but for his house, he must have earned how much?
He's good because, he's earning 4 lakhs a month.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, but he's an influencer. No,
So
see,
at
I'm
that
only
level.
on CashKaro from my personal shopping.
Individual.
So that's just my cash bag. There, that guy is earning because he owns the largest Telegram group in India. So he's like our number one guy, and he earns 4-5 lakhs a month. It's crazy. He's making 60-70 in a year, no? Plus he gets free trips, plus he gets everything. Still, look, at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to trade my life away with him, but at the same time, he's amazing.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Because I was just wondering, with a country or at least the business segment of the country that's been obsessed with all kinds of trends in fintech, and they're relevant as well.
Yeah.
But I think we haven't really focused too much on what I feel perhaps is a very sweet spot for spending, cashback, affiliate marketing. It's that sort of adjacent to what's happening in e-commerce, which has happened already in the last 10 years. But I think the wave of consumerism today is possibly so high. With the number of people shopping online, the amount of disposable income, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that could perhaps be lending to like this opportunity right now, which perhaps we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's aspiration as well, right? I think what happens with an industry like ours is that we are a cross between different segments.
Yes.
That's why you don't see it as being like, oh, this is the year of affiliate marketing, because there are not enough players and there's not a very clear sector. So we would not be purely fintech because we don't do payments. We wouldn't be purely e-commerce because we don't sell. We direct the traffic. So we are somewhere in between, and we are an e-commerce enabler.
Yes.
And e-commerce enablers have seen a lot of growth, but it is a bit of a winner takes all market. I think, you heard the millions of clicks that we're sending every year, and we do about 4,000 crores in sales every year to partners.
Okay.
So that's a sizable amount. And therefore, there is a lot of gap between us and the next few players as well, because we were also the first to raise money.
Okay.
So I think that has given us a bit of an edge. But we're pretty much building the category as we go along.
Okay. So let's talk about that, because you were the first to sort of kick off a new segment here. You yourself, of course, I know that you grew up in Ambala. You got a scholarship to go overseas. While you were studying at LSE, is where you also met Rohan.
Yes.
You guys came back and kicked this off. And I think, was it Ratan Tata or was it Vani, or was it both of them that came in as your initial investors?
Yeah, so, our first round ever was actually an angel round in the UK, which was friends and family, $750,000. We had just launched in India.
It was a lot at that time. You guys were really young.
Yeah, it was a lot. Our target was 250, 300K. Actually, we were so naive. There's just so much more awareness right now for entrepreneurs. And, there's an explosion of gyan on the internet, which wasn't there that time. So, it was one day we were like, we need money to grow. Can we ask others? Yeah, that's called a fundraiser. So let's do that, right? So, it pretty much started from those days, and we came from a banking, Rohan and I both came from a hardcore finance background, which was more around M&A and modeling and structured debt and finance, structured credit and all of that, not particularly some of these things. But I think we started off saying, let's do an angel round. We actually went to London Business School. We did our first pitch. And one guy in the audience, typically, as you imagine, I hope there's somebody here who's for me, my real angel. There was one, Peter Radcliffe, who raised his hand, right? And he came up later on, and he was working with Monetize, which is actually a fintech company. So he was our first £50,000 check.
Okay.
Then we did the angel round, where I pretty much wrote to our friends and people we knew from Goldman, from LSE, saying we're launching this business in India. It's just been 3 months. It's already doing so well. And we had a target of 300K, but I think what happens in an angel round is that a lot of FOMO also kicks in, honestly speaking, because once you get the first 2-3 in, and then they tell others that, hey, I'm investing in this business, it sounds really cool. They're like, really? So I think once, the first 3-4 meetings, and I was doing it alone at that time because Rohan was here setting up the business. So I would go for first meeting and then come back and say, I think he's in. Rohan's like, how much did he say? £150,000. Okay, great. Done. So then to another one, right? Then after 3-4, I was like, hey, I think our round is happening because we already reached 300K and they have further referrals. So at that time,
how cool is that?
It is, I think it's one of the highest highs I've got in life because, you are going alone into each room and you're coming out thinking, I've got it. And in a time where, I think we closed $750,000 in 48 hours. I literally went back-to-back meeting that at one point I used to look at myself and say, I can definitely look a lot better. Why do I look so tired? And, but I would still come back and come out saying, maybe they also think I'm hardworking, so this is good enough. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Focus on it. I was just telling myself, don't worry about anything else. Just talk about the business, which is what you are here for. So I literally and I think that's when I learned visualization, by the way.
Interesting. Now tell us more. That's really fascinating.
Because after doing 3 meetings, I had the next morning was one, and then I was like, can I just close my eyes and imagine how do I want it to go? So I would imagine myself entering that cafe or wherever I'm meeting people meet them there, they'll ask, and I would imagine them shaking my hand and smiling, and then me coming out saying, "Ah," that feeling.
Yeah.
And I think today, if you hear a lot of reels about visualization, people say that it doesn't work because we don't add the emotion to it. And I think even today, I don't know if I do it as well that I did at that time. I added the emotion to it. I would catch myself smiling, smiling, that knowing that it's going to happen.
That's lovely.
And it's happened. And I think that's how, and of course, I was passionate. I think I was very focused about it, Yeah, it was just a simple entrepreneur saying, I want to do this. And people said, look, we know you, we'll back you. And me and Rohan, it's all the team, of course. I was just a delivery person. It's the team. We were able to raise money together. And that way we reached 750K. And then we were like, oh my God, we've overshot so much. Oh, we have to give up so much equity. It came up. But then we said, it's fine, because it gave us a real first mover advantage. Then we did Series A, which was Kalari Capital, backed by, Vani. And that room also, I remember that boardroom, me and Vani were the only females in that room. That's just typical.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
But, I've spent 5 years at Goldman. In fact, for me, my being the only female started pretty young. Because when I was growing up in Ambala, even that time I had never thought I'm going to go abroad to study for my 11th and 12th. I got a scholarship to study in Singapore, which was by the Ministry of Education. And out of the 30 odd people they took from India, again, females were, maybe like 12, 13. So it was less there. But that didn't bother me. It wasn't too bad. LSE, of course, I think I was the only female to get that scholarship, because it was 80% tuition fee. There's no way I could have gone otherwise. I couldn't have asked my dad to fund the whole thing. That 20% alone, I remember my grandfather said, figure out how, but he was very pro-education for women. Right. And today when I look back, I know that that's where my confidence and my belief in education also came from, that you have to invest in girls' education. And he never made me feel that, oh, my career is not important, or why do spend so much on the girls' education anyway, she's going to get married one day or something like that. He always was very good about it. So LSE was that. Goldman was like alpha male environment, right? And I was in a team where it was 6 of us, 5 guys. I was the junior most and the only female as well. They treated me very well. I cannot complain. But I think going through all those experiences, you also understand what's a boys' club. You understand that you're going to be alone. How do you fit in, but you be comfortable by standing out as well. Right. So that gave me really good training, because when we came to India and launched CashKaro in the tech ecosystem, startup ecosystem, again, you won't find a lot of females starting a business, getting funded, representing in the boardroom at each level. 100%. There are very few of us.
Yes.
So
a lot of women struggle with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So it gave you confidence, clearly. I know that you've always been very focused.
Yeah.
I think that's something very unique to you. I've always seen that. A very positive outlook.
Yeah.
You are a go-getter. And you also have, like you said, this quiet confidence that you carry.
Thank you. And then Mr. Tata happened, to your story. So after we got Kalari in, I requested Vani that, can you introduce us to Mr. Tata? And a lot of people used to tell us, there's no point you guys meeting him, because he always invests in companies that have a social element to it. And I said, well, not necessarily. He's a businessman. He will also look at a business that makes sense. Sure. Plus, we are actually giving out money, which is not social, I understand. But I had to take a chance.
Right.
And we requested for a meeting. We managed to get the meeting, met him at the Taj in Mumbai. And, I think a defining moment of that meeting was that we are all sitting on that table. He's sitting here having his dessert. And they tell us, you have 20 minutes, we'll start now. And you can stand there and present. The pitch is there, the board is there. And I was like, I'm going to stand there and present. He's going to be eating here. There's no eye contact. There's no relationship. We won't get to know each other. Why will he invest? Anyways, I'm not coming from a philanthropic background. So, no. So I just said to him, so I told them thank you. And, so that the organizers are not involved in this conversation. I just went to Mr. Tata and said, sir, do you mind if we just sit across from you and have a chat? Me and Rohan were both there. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, sure. I said, the deck is here. We can refer to it. But I'm sure you are not so excited to see the deck, right? He's like, yeah, I don't mind. So, and I think that was the minute that I asked the question. Because if you've never met Mr. Ratan Tata, and this is probably your only time meeting him, and you're only shot at pitching to him, not a lot of people will actually go against what has been told to them to do and thinking ki, and I was like, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा क्या होगा? He'll say, नहीं, So I'll go back and do what I was going to do anyway.
Yeah.
So, but that was the defining
Took
moment.
a chance.
Yeah, I took a chance. And I think I've taken a chance at every previous journeys that we described. And we sat and had a conversation, and then he was engaged. He was asking questions, and in the end, I said, "Sir, what do you think of our business?" And he said, "In a country that loves to save money, you are giving free money. What's there not to love?" So that was that, right? So that was amazing. So then Mr. Tata invested. Then we did Korea Investment Partners. We raised our Series B from them, $10 million. That pitch was, we went to Seoul for the last round. And I remember a huge boardroom, like quite big. And most of them, I think there were about 35 people there, mostly male. And I'm standing here pitching, and I don't think they understand English. Not a lot of them. So I'm like,
what did you do?
I'm like speaking slowly, and they're the most wonderful people, by the way. I think KIP is a fantastic investor. We're really lucky to have them. And I think they, the people who we knew, so they also communicated to each other. Plus, I was relying a lot on the graphs and trying to show the hockey sticks, focusing more on those. But I think ultimately, they all explained to each other as well. So it's about being confident. And I think raising money is a lot about the entrepreneur's energy as well.
Yeah.
How do you help the investor actually take a view on your sector? So we also positioned, and also, which is true, that as e-commerce in India grows, e-commerce enablers will grow with it. So I think people who had a view on that was important. Then we raised our Series C, 1.5 years ago, which was $16 million. That was led by Affle Global.
Right.
And Anuj is a fantastic operator himself. So
I just have to share, I remember meeting you by chance at the airport, and we had breakfast together around that time.
Yeah.
And I want to share because you're so understated.
Yeah.
You shared the news.
Yeah.
And I think it was just before it came out. So you told me the news is coming out.
Yeah.
But we were just sitting there having our coffee and our omelette, and it was just so casual. And you're just said that, and by the way,
Yeah, that trip was actually very important for me, because that trip was, the lead up to that trip was that 3 months before that, I had been told that I need a kidney transplant.
Yes.
We were also raising this fundraising round, and both were happening simultaneously. And I was like, no way am I going to go for the transplant until this fundraiser starts. But Anuj and Affle were great. They tried to expedite everything. They were so supportive. And I even told them, before they give the term sheet, that I'm going to have this, because I just wanted to be super upfront and honest about it. And they said, we have no doubt, honestly, I have no doubt that you will come back to work fine. So it doesn't bother me, and that was just so nice of him.
More supporters in the ecosystem.
Absolutely. He is a believer. And I think that is just what an entrepreneur needs. So I was coming out of those 3 months of saying, in the morning, like I'm doing an investor call, then I'm going to the hospital for the test, and I'm coming and looking at NDAs at night. And I'm working round the clock because, and my kidneys, by the way, are functioning at 4 to 5% at that point. And my hemoglobin was 5.5. So people used to say, 5.5, and you're at work.
I know, I get you. You're always
So when you met me, I was 5.5 hemoglobin. And I think it's because, I think our bodies are just amazing. If we can manage the mind, and if we can be positive about things, I think, body saath deti hai. That is what I believe. The body stays with you, and it kind of helps you out. You got to help it as well. If you keep telling yourself, oh my God, it's over, I'm done, ya kya hoga, and you keep on working yourself up, the body can't do much, because you're, messing up your mind so much. So I just, during those 3 months, every day, I just told myself, the universe has got my back. I know things will be fine. Every day I'm going to do my best. And I just had an ultimate attitude of gratitude, which I do even today. Just being thankful for everything, focusing on what I have versus what I don't. And I always said that, I'm so glad that I'm getting this transplant done. I'm so glad I know this problem. So many problems come without you knowing. I know what my problem is, and I know how to fix it. And I found my kidney donor in my house and my mom. So I'm just so lucky. So I went into the OT knowing I am so lucky. And I was lucky, and I am lucky.
Oh.
So
I know you went through a lot. I know you weren't even allowed to see Rohan. It was very painful, of course, just post-surgery. You've spoken about it. But I think you also become a beacon of inspiration for a lot of others who could possibly be going through the same thing, and how you've dealt with it, the mental resilience. You were telling me that many people now approach you.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful that you have shared your experience with them, because it's something difficult for anyone.
Yeah. At that time, I had, during COVID, I had started posting some content on Instagram. So as I was going for my transplant, I was like, somebody asked me in the office, why are you going to share about it on your Insta? And I said, I will, because my whole channel is built on authenticity. This is who I am. And if I'm going through something, I'm okay to share, so that tomorrow if somebody else also, I'm happy to help out. And anyways, who will I hide from? My investor already knows. If anyone is my friend, they already know.
Sure.
And I think the other is, like, I don't want to be posting a photo of me in a garden when I'm actually in the hospital. Like, I would rather just be honest about it. And I think there are two things I learned in that, right? One was that as a leader, being vulnerable is actually a great thing. I didn't have to think about, oh, what will my team think? Will they think we are weak? Or will they think, I don't know what? But for me, it was not even a doubt. I didn't even question it. I told everyone on the CK Morning Show that, I'm going to be going through this transplant, and, I really want to thank you for your support so far. And for the next 3 months, this is how you can help me. Right. And then people really, they stepped up and they took up, because they knew that, Rohan and I have to do this. And they were amazing. And I think I learned from that as a leader, being honest with your teams is great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Good to know, something to take away.
Yeah.
And anything else you'd like to, leave us with today? Because I think, Swati, a lot of people, it's not just young girls, it's aspiring entrepreneurs, it's aspiring leaders, look up to you. And like I said, you always just have such a wonderfully positive attitude and just calm demeanor, ready to tackle anything. Any other, words of advice? And also, what are you looking forward to now? You've got so much going for you. Are there any kind of wish list items, whether fun or business, that are on your list?
Well, lots of things there, so maybe I'll
need a separate episode for that.
No, amongst all these questions, I'll start answering them one by one in some sense. I think as a leader, I've learned over the last 7 years that focusing on building a solid company culture is underrated. It's something that every leader should spend time on. And very often it needs us to work on ourselves before we can actually be the battery that can charge others. So for leaders, I think they need to think of a few different things. One is how to manage themselves, right? How to go from being a manager to a leader. And that involves different things. It involves teaching ourselves, educating ourselves. Rohan is now spending time every morning, actually going through principles of leadership from John Maxwell, saying what else can we imbibe that we can also pass on to others, right? Because then only you become a level 5 leader when you've raised others as well. So we have a fantastic leadership team, but we're definitely working on that all the time. Then, our own demeanor, our own stress levels, our own, how do we feel through the day, And I think it's really important to find ways to bring yourself back to a high vibration, bring yourself back to feeling good.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, let's say if you're in one meeting hasn't gone so well, but those people go away, you are the same person going to the next meeting. So I'm always saying, okay, can I just shake off energy after every meeting and bring myself back to being 100% for the next? Because it's the next set of people, next set of issues, next set of energy that you need to bring to that meeting, So my New Year resolution last year and this year was to figure out ways to maintain my vibration as a high vibration, to continue to find ways to feel good, so that when you feel good, that's what you attract back to yourself. So I focus on that. To develop our company culture, we've done multiple things. During COVID, everyone was working on their own. We didn't do any layoffs, by the way, which was, the start of it. We started something called the CK Morning Show, which I started hosting at 9:30 every day because we got on a video call. We just felt otherwise everyone was so disconnected.
Right.
So we do birthdays, work anniversaries, celebrations in the morning. 4 years later, the CK Morning Show is still running every day. A different person in the team hosts it. There's a different person who's a guest. So they get to know each other as well. Sure. I'm there every morning. Unless I'm traveling, I'm on the show every day. And it just brings us together as a company. We have events in office. Respect, friendship, appreciation, these are part of the values that we have at CashKaro. And I think when you have these as values, when you say that appreciation is a value. You start every day appreciating people on CK Morning Show, somebody whose work anniversary is there, or if they've, got something else that we highlight. So it's different people who get appreciated every day. You start by encouraging people, right? It's a good note, because when people are appreciated, they always do more, and they feel good also. You also feel good. So we do Thank You Thursday once a month also. And I think the person who's getting thanks, they feel good, but the one who's giving thanks always also feels good, So we've done, and we do lunch and snacks on the house every day, just so that people get a chance to bond and they don't have to eat, street food every day, or if they're in PGs. So a lot of different things. So I think I do believe that culture can eat strategy for breakfast.
Nice.
So it is important to focus on it. It's important to make time for it. And sometimes you yourselves have to step up. Like a very small thing, Independence Day, we had a celebration in office, and we had a couple of cancellations last minute on performances. So we had only one performance there. So half an hour earlier, HR told me that, today program will be shorter. Then I was like, maybe I should do something, right? Because
yeah.
And then I looked up an Independence Day poem, which was saluting the soldiers and the sacrifices they make. It's a very beautiful poem. Ki main Bharat ka sipahi hu, main dushman se nahi darta. So and it was very long, very complicated Hindi. But somehow I managed to do it. We put it out on LinkedIn, and actually that video's got close to 1 million views.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, this is my most viral video, which came out of, if you go back to it, it is me saying that culture is important. If nobody else is there, I will do it.
Yeah.
I mean, as a leader, not a big deal, but I'm just saying that, it involves all sorts of big and small things.
Yeah.
And just have to do it. It's most important. People are our most important asset. The last message I want to leave you with, which is for men and women alike, is to remember that your body is the most expensive real estate you have. And therefore, we have to take care of it. And you have to make time for it. And that might include, it's not just about work-life balance. It's also about the diet that we have, the food. Are we able to, control our taste buds, reduce the sugar, find ways, to do the right things in life that can put you in a better, health state, because ultimately, health is actually wealth. The day before my transplant, I remember that whoever I used to meet, I used to think, money is so irrelevant. Like, everyone around me is actually richer, because, I knew that I will be fine. But at that time, you do feel that actually what you really want is this thing to be fine.
So,
Of course. Yeah. And I remember the day of my transplant, I posted an Insta story in the morning. And the song I put there was the Rhythmit song, ki aisi jeetam chahe zindagi, right? Because that's what you are feeling at that minute.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm so grateful that everything went well. And I think, but going through ups and downs in life is normal. And we just have to take it on our stride, and you have to find ways to be mentally strong. So if you're taking care of your body, you will mentally also find a way to deal with things as they come.
Swati, thank you so much for joining us. I think we've taken away so many nuggets from this conversation today, and it's just really great to see how you've also, emerged as a leader in your own life.
From the first time we met for a Bloomberg interview.
We both have evolved, let's say.
Of course.
But it's great to see you.
You're fantastic. Yeah, no, likewise. You're doing so well. Thank you.